You said not everyone can be a party member of the Communist Party in China. There's 1.3 billion people in China. What percentage of the country
90
are
million.
members?
There's 90 million.
Okay. So that's what,
like
1%? What is that?
It's less than 1%.
Okay.
90 million.
90 million on what?
1.4 billion.
No, it's not 1%, guys. 90 million. 90
less
million.
than 1%.
No, it's not. No, it's not. On 1 billion. On 1 billion.
1.4 billion.
Yeah, I know. 90 million on 1.4 billion is like 6.5%. Is what you're talking about. 6.5%.
Okay,
10% of 10% of 1.4 billion is 140 million.
Yeah.
90 million is probably 6.5%.
Got it. That's why I got a human calculator here. We always appreciate
But go ahead.
that.
Keep
so you're saying, 5%,
that's 6.5%.
6%.
That's a big number still, yeah.
But so 95% of the country is not part of the communist regime in China. So just break that down. Like, how do the people think?
You can just go to Xi Jinping. I think it took him 5 or 6 times to join the party. I mean, you Sammy the Bull. You made the comment, Sammy the Bull. It's like joining the mafia. You don't like get made the first time.
That's right.
Right. Wow. You have to keep working at it, and you have to demonstrate your loyalty.
That's the system they have, and they have the ultimate omerta. You know the ultimate omerta when you're talking. You know what omerta is? Like when you swear,
you pay the oath. Like
you pay the oath. Yeah. You cannot break silence. You cannot tell anybody.
Very mafia-esque.
Yeah,
that's what I'm freaking realizing.
To say, the mafia exists. Like when they interview Meyer Lansky, does the La Cosa Nostra exist? What's La Cosa Nostra? When I spend a whole day with Sonny Francis, I'm like, Sonny, so what do you know about Meyer Lansky? Good guy. What can you tell me about Lucky Luciano? Another good guy. What can you tell me about Ben Siegel? Phenomenal guy. John, Sonny, these guys killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that's
the
culture
party.
of CCP.
That's the party.
China.
That's a party. 100%. Yeah.
The ultimate omerta, and the reason why there's the ultimate omerta is why. What's the ultimate omerta? The thing that China can get away with, that the Italian mafia eventually couldn't get away with, is what? The ultimate omerta is, if you break silence, we don't come after you.
We kill your whole family?
Of course. So I dare you to say something. Because the reality is, you ever heard a secret with somebody and you shared it with another person? Like, let's just say you heard something, you're like, something happens. You're like, oh my gosh, let me tell you what I just find out. You tell your wife. You tell your husband. You tell your kids. Like, you know what just happened? Right? This just happened. No way. Yeah. You broke the omerta. Yeah. You broke the oath. But in China, you can't do that.
Can't do that.
Can't even tell your wife.
And what guys will always do, they'll always default to, I'm not going to say anything. I'll go to prison for the rest of my life. But what you're talking about is you're letting your family continue to live their life, right? Wow. That's really what it's about. But more than that, Pat, it's more than that. It's about owning the bank. They own the Bank of China. So imagine if the mafia owned the Fed, what they could do.
Wow. Yeah, at one point, we're trying to. If they would have done that.
I mean, think about it. If the mafia owned the Fed, how would this country be different?
Are you kidding me? You can't say anything. You can control anything you want.
Anything you want.
They're taxing everybody and anybody. You make a list of the top earners and you just make one phone call.
Right. So who wants to do financial services in China right now?
Probably only the people that are involved with the government.
No. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley are fighting like cats and dogs to get in there to do financial services.
Because they want to get
China.
in bed with the CCP.
So what happened with DDD? What happened with DD?
So DD... This was great.
Can you pull this up?
So DD gets a $4.4 billion IPO.
Now, what is DD for people that don't know what DD is?
So DD, I used it when I was in China. It's like Uber.
Okay.
And if you remember, Uber was making great inroads, same as Tesla. I love this stuff, to watch these guys, these entrepreneurs that go in there and they think they can take over China. Like, I've got a different approach. Like, I'm going to go get friendly with the China.
Like, I'm going to make this work.
Like, why would they even think that's an option?
Well, so Uber goes in there, and what happens? DD takes them over. So DD is like the Chinese Uber.
China Uber and Lyft put together.
Except think about what DD can do now. DD can collect all this information. They got cameras in the cars. They're collecting information about you, right?
Data.
Chinese Communist Party wants that data. And so what happens is they have this $4.4 billion IPO. So JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley are like pushing this. They're making millions of dollars on the IPO. What's his name? Jim Cramer. You got to be invested in DD. As soon as the IPO closed and they got that $4.4 million into the Bank of China, the Chinese Communist Party said, okay, we're going to take the app off everything. And we're going to basically...
Who owns DD?
The Chinese Communist Party, obviously.
Why are they taking the app off everything?
Because they want to control the data that Didi has. The Chinese Communist Party wants to control the data.
Go back to that article again, Kai.
But here's the deal. They were going to do that anyway, but the party said, okay, let's get this $4 billion first, and then let's basically take control of Didi, right? So what happened during the Deng Xiaoping era is you had these private companies rise up, and you had these billionaires come, like Jack Ma, for example. Yeah. Same thing with Didi. Well, Didi comes up, it gets this IPO, and then the Chinese Communist Party knows they're going to shut down Didi because they want to take control of the data. But they let the IPO happen. So whose money is in that IPO? Whose money? Not JP Morgan.
Investors' money.
Not Goldman Sachs. Not Morgan Stanley. It's retirement funds. It's people who work for a living in this country. The Chinese Communist Party are deliberately stealing from the American people, the people that work their ass off every single day, and the guys that are helping them push these equities, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley.
Here's a question for you.
And by the way, and this is, you may not know this, where did Jay Clayton come from, the last SEC chairman? What did he do?
I don't know.
Goldman Sachs? What was his big deal, claim to fame?
What was it?
Alibaba IPO.
Wow.
I mean, if you don't understand how Wall Street and D.C. and the Chinese Communist Party create this trifecta to control our financial system to the detriment of the American people and for the benefit of the Chinese Communist Party, then you don't understand what's going on. You're going around looking at life like the Matrix, right? You're like, oh, I'm living my life and I'm eating chicken. But it's it's all fake.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.